Strato has been a premier vendor to the rail and transit industry for over 40 years. As industry's needs have grown for higher quality and longer life products, we have found and developed new manufacturing processes to meet these needs that outdated processes did not. In this video, we will show an overview of a casting process we use heavily that has allowed us to push quality to a higher standard efficiently. Strato is at the forefront of designing products with a low incidence of failures and extended life while maintaining acceptable cost structures. One of the areas important to achieving product goals is looking at parts that are fabricated or parts that are cast in processes such as sand castings, where porosity is an ongoing problem. Strato uses a variety of casting processes. The key is picking the right process and the right foundry for the product. Many of the casting suppliers to the industry have significant capital investments in owned foundries. Strato has a network of over 30 foundries that allows us to match the part with the right process in the right foundry. Strato customers have asked us to improve upon several products that the industry is having problems with. These products are often candidates for the lost wax process because the reason for failure is tied to problems caused by other casting methods. Strato has become the leader in using investment castings for parts greater than 150 pounds. We have developed tooling and process controls that allow us to have parts as large as 350 pounds to take advantage of the lost wax process. This chart shows the benefits of using investment casting over sand casting. There are parts where sand casting is the right choice. Strato uses investment casting where porosity, parting lines, and surface finish is a known cause for part failures. We will also use it when tighter tolerances are required to make a stronger design. Here are close-ups of two yokes. On the left, a green sand casting, and the right, an investment cast Strato yoke. From the picture, it's easy to see the superiority of the investment casting that does not have the parting lines or surface grinding and lacks the design integrity of the investment cast yoke. The next 8 slides will walk you through the investment casting process. We use a lost wax process, which means that the mold of the part is made of wax that is eventually melted away. Because we are an environmentally friendly company with one of the lowest carbon footprints in the industry, lost wax is a preferred casting method for companies who require environmentally safe products. The first step is developing the tooling. Since it is used to mold wax and not sand, it will maintain the very exact dimensions for the life of the product. The next step is molding the wax. The smooth finish of the wax will become the finish of the part, resulting in a much better finish than sand castings. Next, gates and risers are added to support the pouring and cooling process. The wax patterns are cleaned and inspected. Investment castings can create unique shapes and hold geometry that are not possible with sand castings. Parts are then assembled into trees that will control the pouring and cooling process. There are no parting lines that create stress risers like on traditional sand castings. The wax parts are now dipped in a ceramic slurry. The ceramic layer has to be built up to a thickness that will support the molten metal that is poured into it. The heavier the part, the more layers of ceramic are needed. The ceramic shell is baked to remove the wax and all moisture before the molten metal is poured into it. Traditional green sand castings depend on moisture to hold the sand together. Here we have eliminated the moisture that can cause porosity. The ceramic mold is now ready to have molten metal poured into it. The metal is poured into the gates in a controlled manner to allow gas to escape and for the metal to flow evenly into the mold. After several hours, the casting has cooled to the point that the mold can be removed. The removal of the mold prematurely can change the metallurgy of the part. Lastly, the casting is cleaned and finished. Strato has great success with using lost wax castings because of the depth of our engineering and experience we have in the field. Our vendors are chosen for their ability to execute 2-hour design and process controls that we develop for every product. Successful products start with our design teams using the latest tools and software. Strato's structured process starts with creating a 3D model either from concept or creating a drawing by using laser scanning. The next step our engineers use is FEA analysis and simulation software to validate a design to make a prototype. We use two programs to improve the casting ability of a product and increase quality. The first is FlowCast, which simulates the flowing of metal and suggests the design of gates and risers. SolidCast shows how metal cools, which allows you to prevent voids. With a validated design, a 3D prototype is made. Strato has the in-house ability to make a 3D model in under 24 hours that allows our engineers to determine fit and function without having the time and expense of making tooling. This model can also be used as the mold for a modified investment casting to get a metal sample. Rapid prototyping cuts months out of the sample process. Strato works closely with our vendors not only in the design of parts and tooling, but also in the process of casting a part. The steam fitting shown here has undergone a FlowCast simulation to identify why the vendor was having a high rate of failure. In this picture of the steam fitting, you see the results of the adjustments Strato engineers recommended after our analysis. Strato improved the design by adjusting the wall thickness and adding a reinforcing rib. The gating of the product was also adjusted. The result was the defect rate dropped from 30% to less than 1%. Strato's engineers are active not only in the design labs, but also work on-site with our vendors. It is this comprehensive approach of choosing the right process, properly designing the product, working collaboratively with our vendors on tooling and sampling, and supporting their needs on-site that allows the high degree of success we have with investment castings. That success is measured in the reject rate of our products to our customers, which is less than 1%, by far the benchmark in the industry. As our products have more time in the field, we assure that our failure rate will be far superior to competitive products using other casting methods. Strato is dedicated to making safe, effective, and extended life components for cars and locomotives. To ensure that we meet the mission of our company, exceed the need, we will continue to expand our resources and increase our capabilities to serve the industry and our customers.